My parents demanded I exclude my son, then tried to sue me. My parents have never liked my oldest son, Nathaniel. They've always treated him differently, and now they've crossed a line I can't ignore. Nathaniel was my godson. He was the child of my best friend Sarah. I've known Sarah since middle school. Our friendship grew even stronger after she came out. My parents, unfortunately, hated her. Even back then, I told them if they made me choose between them and her, I'd choose her. When her family moved away, our contact went virtual, but we stayed close. Fast forward to college. Sarah and I ended up attending the same university. Eventually, she met her wife, and when they needed a donor, I agreed, under the condition that I'd have no legal or financial responsibility. I became Uncle Caden, and was involved in Nate's life from day one. I was also his godfather and father figure, but we kept that fact private until he was old enough. After I married my wife and had 2 kids, Sarah and her wife tragically passed away in a boating accident. Nate was with his grandparents at the time, and I immediately stepped in as guardian. I adopted him, he was 12, and raised him as my own alongside my 2 younger children. My wife knew everything from the beginning and was completely on board. My parents, however, were never kind to Nate. They made it clear they didn't consider him a real grandchild. I didn't tell them he was my biological son because I didn't trust them to keep it to themselves before we were ready to tell Nate. When we did tell him at 16, he just laughed and said he had figured it out ages ago. Earlier this year, my grandmother passed away, and my parents received a sizable inheritance. They offered to contribute to our kids' college funds. I agreed, but when I said I'd be splitting it 3 ways, they pushed back and said they only wanted to support my 2 real children. I declined. I won't exclude one of my kids because of their ignorance, but they didn't stop there. My grandparents had also set up a trust fund for their descendants. When we applied for Nate's portion, my uncle, a trustee, mentioned it to my parents, and they exploded. They accused me of keeping their grandchild from them. I reminded them they never considered him their grandchild, something I could prove with an actual letter they wrote. Now they're threatening to sue for grandparents' rights. I laughed in their faces. We've always been low contact, and now it'll stay that way. My sisters think I'm being cruel, but even they barely talk to our parents. As far as I'm concerned, my son didn't miss a thing by not having them in his life, especially when all they would have done is disrespect the memory of his amazing mothers.